Good morning, everybody. Thomas here from the Three Buff Guys. I am joined, as usual, with my dad, Richard, and my brother, William. It's been another week in the books, a week of making good choices, hopefully, but we'll get into that a little bit later. How's everybody doing? How are your weeks?
Hope dies last. My week has been okay. It's not been the best, but not been the worst either. But we'll get into that later on. You, William?
Yeah, pretty much the same as you, really. Nothing special. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I had a great week. Really, really happy. I'm really happy to be here.
Good to hear. Right, so let's go to the normal slides. And we'll start talking about how the week went. So there we are, that screen there.
As you can see, this is a well-oiled machine.
It is.
It is, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Three handsome chappies.
Yeah. God. It's a good trip.
Last week. You look back. Let's start with you this week, Thomas. What went well?
What went well? I broke 20,000 steps this week in a day, and I was absolutely ecstatic to see that. I think it's the highest step count I've ever had on my my Apple Watch, and so that just really, really made me very happy. That's my highlight.
Okay.
So how did you manage that then?
A lot of walking. It was a really, really busy day at work. I was doing a lot of back and forth, running here and there, and yeah, it's just a lot of walking.
And was it by accident or was it by design?
A little bit of both. I got to a point where I think I was at 18,500 steps or something like that. I was like, I can get another 1,500 done. I was like, I can do that.
Okay.
So that's why.
Very good. So you're feeling very well then?
I feel terrific. Absolutely terrific. Yeah.
All right. And what about you, William?
Well, this week wasn't a very good week because I had exams and then I had my flatmate's birthday, so we had to celebrate that a bit. So step-wise, it wasn't the best week. I didn't manage to get out much, but I did manage to all days apart from one, do the 10,000 steps. And I also did a lot of the aerobics videos, so that went well, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Good to hear. So what went well for me this week, in spite of having a house that's like a construction site, we've been renovating the kitchen. I've managed to do the steps this week and keep my pledge to always meet or exceed the daily goals set by Garmin. That went well. Also, what made me feel really good is that a few of the people I work with now have been looking at the channel and they've noticed a marked difference in us. They've given us some hints on how we can get some people actually watching us. Simple, obvious hints, really. I feel physically tired because of the work that we've been doing at home. But for the most part, I feel good.
Terrific.
So, last week's challenge, how did that go? Let's start with you then, Thomas.
No, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. It was. The run-of-the-mill aerobics, vegan and butter, they're sort of starting to become easier every time now. But the plank was pretty killer. I think day one, I managed 30 seconds. I could have gone more, but I felt this weird sort of tingle sort of in my elbow, and so I stopped there. Going throughout the week, I didn't really try and push it to the max. I tried to add more time to it. So I did 15 seconds. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And up until yesterday, I was at a minute. So I was pretty proud of that. I think I could have done a minute, though, on Sunday. but I'm not going to complain.
Okay. What about you, William?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do it. Well, I did it on 3 days,
Okay.
but not every day.
On the 3 days you did it, how did it go?
Well, I think it helped. I don't know if it did help or not, but not looking at the timer. But 2 out of the 3 times it was just over a minute, and the third time was just under a minute. So, but I didn't take. I don't know. I just didn't really take this challenge seriously. I'm sorry. I know.
Walk of shame, son.
I
Walk
know.
of shame.
I am.
Talking about that, day one for me was 1 minute and 3 seconds. Today was 1 minute 27 seconds. And do you know how I achieved such greatness?
Please tell us.
Do you know the movie Ghost?
Mm.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze and what's her name? Whoopi. I was going to say Whoopi Cushion. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. And the song that he keeps singing to wind Whoopi Goldberg up, I'm Henry VIII, I am. That was my secret today. You're right, William. You cannot look at the time. So your mum was on timer, and I'm in the plank position, and I'm singing, I'm Henry VIII, I am, I'm Henry VIII, I am. And then, of course, I go off script and put a few choice words in of my own. But in the end, I'll make it to 1 minute and 27 seconds. So
I assume those words aren't viewer friendly.
they certainly are. I was bringing in about how, as a Taunton boy, I'm stronger than the average, all sorts of stuff, ad-libbing, but it worked well, or at least that part did. Now, for the other stuff, for me, for the 10 minutes aerobics every day, I managed it the 4 times. In fact, for 5 times I managed Lucy, the 8-minute workout. I managed 4 of the 10-minute workouts, but on the other days, I've just been doing other stuff. I've not had time. I've not had the energy to do it. The vegan days in April, forget it. My heart's not in it, so I've not been doing it. We've got a few more days left, but if I'm honest with myself, it ain't going to happen in April. Maybe in May. The no butter, I've kept to that really well, except there was one day in the week when I think it was Thursday when we started doing the work in the kitchen, and we shared we shared a very, like a flatbread, like a pita bread between us, and I had butter on that. But today, no butter. I had bread for my breakfast, so still I'm doing well with the no butter challenge. So all in all, I've had a reasonably good week.
Good.
What haven't we covered with you, Thomas, and what haven't we covered with you, William?
I believe we've covered everything. The plank.
No, you didn't mention about the aerobics, Thomas. You mentioned about the plank.
Well, the aerobics are still a little tough for me. Lucy is a tough nut to crack. I know that these things, because I'm starting off from a higher body mass, a higher weight, and a lower fitness level, that it's going to take some time. But it's one of those things. I think that when I'm doing it and when I'm working on it, it's absolutely brutal almost. But when I'm done with it, even after just a couple of minutes, I think that wasn't so bad. And I've had that with quite a few of the exercises since starting this Three Buff Guys journey. I've thought to myself, well, this is either going to be terrible or this is terrible while I'm doing it, and then it won't be too long before I was like, well, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I come downstairs in the morning, and before I put the kettle on, I go and stand in front of the television. I switch it on,
Yeah.
and the first exercise number one, I think I cannot be bothered to do this. And then I argue myself through the first exercise. That's 1 minute gone.
Yeah.
Then the same with the second. And by the time I get with the fourth, I say to myself, look, I'm halfway there now. I can't give up. But it's just hard to get started. But as long as we do it, that's the main thing. And have you been doing any aerobics, William? I don't remember you saying.
I do the body project. They're fun. I like them. But all of their videos are at least half an hour. So sometimes I do one, sometimes I want to go full hour. And that's what I did the other day.
So you like the blonde woman yet? Or is she still horrible? No.
No.
She's a wolf,
I like the guy. The guy's really cool.
Wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, the guy's okay.
Yeah, he's really nice.
Okay. All right then. Today's topic: how does tiredness affect your health, your weight, and your fitness? Let's start with you, William.
Well, I'll be the first person to admit that I hate waking up early. And so I've just come to the terms that I don't want to wake up extra early to do the exercise. And so I just do it when I want and when I feel like it. And sometimes I don't feel like it, but I'll still do it. And most days it's in the afternoon or in the evening. So in that way, I don't let the tiredness really affect my fitness. Health-wise, I don't know. Recently, I haven't been having too good of sleep. Don't know why. I'm surely a lot less motivated if I'm not fully rested to do anything. So yeah, it's a tricky question, really, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what about you, Thomas?
It affects me on the weekends. I would say that would be the biggest thing, is because during the week, you have that, well, I've got to go to work, so it almost makes it easier for you. On the weekend, I think again that's sort of where the real difficulty is for me, because we try and have fun weekends. We try and do things that make us happy, that are exciting, that are new. But then there are some times where we've just had really, really long weeks and we don't really have anything in mind, anything that we particularly want to do. I think it's those times that is particularly difficult. You'll wake up on a Saturday, you've got that whole day free, and it's just so easy to just stay in bed and just relax. And 1 minute turns to 5, turns to 10, turns to 45 minutes, and you've already wasted so much time. And I think that's definitely the biggest part, is not really planning your day. Tiredness is, and that is the biggest thing, is just you wake up, and if you don't have a plan, it's so easy to fall victim of that, being tired.
Yeah, I see it the same way. For me, I find that at the moment I'm going to bed. As soon as I get into bed, I pass out. I sleep. I wake up without the alarm clock. This morning I was awake at 5. I heard the birds singing, and I argued with myself whether I should get up, whether I shouldn't get up. In the end, at 7 o'clock, I got up and I just felt completely drained, completely tired, completely worn out. My day hadn't started.
Right.
But I told myself that I'm going to go at least once a week up to Sternberg.
Yeah.
So I got out and I was like a zombie to start with. I managed to get to the end of the road and then I picked up a little bit of speed, and 53 minutes later I was up at the top of Sternberg. So 53 minutes is the fastest I've done it so far.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got back, I'd done 9 kilometers and I was feeling much, much more energetic. So we had some breakfast, as you both know. Sundays is the breakfast treat or punishment, whichever one you call it. For me, it's a treat. We have the bread rolls delivered, and today is the bread day. So I had an excellent breakfast. But I found after a couple of hours, again, really tired. So I find that when I'm tired, there's a temptation for the sugar.
Yeah.
So today, as an exception, I went to the chocolate chip cookie jar and had that. And the rest of the day's been great. I decided not to beat myself up about it, just enjoy it. And tomorrow will be another day. So for me, if you end up too tired, then you have a complete loss of energy. If you have a complete loss of energy, then you start to eat the crap foods, the chocolate chip cookies and the stuff that you wouldn't normally eat. And unless you push yourself, it's easy to stay tired and not exercise. But I find that if you're tired, if you get off your backside and go and do something that you don't want to do, once you come back, you feel a lot more energetic than before. That's the way I see it. Okay. Yeah.
Just to kind of chime in real quick, I know that a lot of viewers, they don't particularly know our habits. You are someone who, for as long as I can remember, in the morning, Saturday, Sunday, or weekday, you'll get up in the morning and you'll take a walk. For me, you've always been incredibly disciplined that way. How does your activity change once you've hit your 10,000 steps? Because I can imagine you hit it pretty early by doing these big walks. For the viewers out
there. Yeah, 10,000 steps is history, Thomas. I gave up on the 10,000 a long time ago. I decided a long time ago to let the Garmin decide how many steps per day. So my minimum steps per day now is about 16,000 or 15,500. And this morning, by the time I got home from my walk, I've pretty much done. I think I'd done 15,000 steps. If I just walked around the garden for a couple of minutes, I would have got the 16. I cannot not do them now.
Mm-hmm.
We're being watched. Let's see. Comments there. Yeah, so I find it's an obsession now that no matter how tired I am, I cannot not finish off my steps. And just because I get up early and get half of them out of the way or most of them out of the way, I can't then sit back and think, well, if I just coast along for the rest of the day, I'll do the minimum. The thing I miss is a dog. If I had a dog to walk with, it would make the steps even better. But anyway, it is as it is. Anything else on this one, or should we go on to the next one?
You're mute, Thomas.
I'm sorry. I was going to say no. I think it was a great topic, and I'm ready to move on to the next one.
Okay.
Same here.
So looking forward. Now it's my week to select this week's challenge. We've got the ones from every week, and today my challenge is that there is no challenge. It's a week off, and it's down to you this week. You can choose something yourself. You can choose to do nothing extra. I am going to carry on doing these exercises. I'm definitely this week going to do the 10 minutes each day. I'm definitely going to do the steps. But there's nothing special. There's nothing that you have to do. If you want to carry on with, sorry, I say carry on. If some of you want to actually do the plank this week, then that's fine.
Vicious.
If you want to set yourself a challenge, then let me know. And we'll talk about it next week. One of the reasons for that is that for me now, if I look at where I am, since last week, I'm slowing down. And just half a kilo this week. So yeah, it's progress, no question. But for me, I think maybe since Christmas or since beginning of January, maybe we've been pushing things, or I've been pushing things too far. I want to give myself the opportunity for a rest this week and come back next Sunday fully refreshed and ready to go. Having said that, you know that I'm a stubborn old fart, really. So it might be that by the time we come back next week, that I've done something silly, that I've done more steps than I've ever done before, but there's no axe swinging over your head this week to do anything special. Okay.
Okay.
Consider that a bit of a reward for the progress so far. Thomas.
Yes. So looking at the chart here, and for those who've only just sort of started watching, you can see an upward trend here, and that was because my dad was using two scales, because he was on vacation in the UK, and he was using my grandma's scale, and then that uptick is when he went back to his old one. So I'm pretty sure that it has been, up until now, despite that, a pretty solid downward trajectory.
True.
Have you thought about the day where you have busted your butt all week and you know that you're going to get on the scale and it is going to be more? Because unfortunately, that just...
Well, this week was hard.
Yeah.
And I realized that you cannot keep dropping every single week. That's the reality. What I also know is that I can't make excuses either. I've got myself into this mess and I need to get myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What I do accept is that there will be the odd week where it stays the same or goes up. This stuff up here was easy because if I consider how heavy I was and how much of my body weight was water, then to lose the first few kilos is easy. The heavier you are, the easier it is. You also got to, if I look at my legs now compared to what they were, my body is more muscular now than it was at Christmas, that's for sure. So I know that it's not just been a case of losing fat. There's been losing fat, losing water, and converting fat to muscle. So definitely better. It'll be a hard one when I have to sit here and say, this week it's gone up, but I'll overcome it. I've got to think about the long term. The long term is October next year, standing next to my two sons and my daughter and my daughter-in-law and my wife for that wedding photograph.
Yeah.
I'm going to be looking good, and I'm going to be proud of all of those people around me. That yellow line there is where I was back in 2009. Back in 2009 was the lightest I've been in many years. So I am so close to that. I think that's 103 point. Yeah, it's 103. So I'm just half a kilo off of where I was in, what's that, 12 years ago. So I'll be where I need to be by the time my son gets married in October next year, for sure. That having been said, let's go on to this week's steps. Let's start with me. For the first time in a long time, I have not exceeded my previous week's step goal. I'm still up there on the daily steps. I'm pleased to say I'm still in the lead. Not that it's a competition between anybody, I'm still in the lead, but maybe that's one of the reasons why the weight loss hasn't been as good this week as last, because I've not done as many steps, for one. I've been working in the kitchen. I've been standing up, I've been sitting down, I've been lying down, I've been standing up and been walking to the garage, doing all kinds of exercise. It makes me admire these craftsmen that work the whole day, lifting stuff, bending down, picking up and just moving. People underestimate the effort they put into their jobs and take it for granted. But when you do it yourself, something that looks really easy turns out to be physically very demanding. So that's why one of the reasons why my step count isn't where it should be. But that's me. On the other hand, when I look at Thomas, I'm pleased to say that every single day, even... Hold on a second. Monday was a bit short of the 10,000, Thomas. Come on.
I told you why.
Yep. Okay. You know what excuses are. Technical problem with it. Okay. All right, then we'll let that one go. But overall, good week. Considering the daily goal is 10,000, you're doing good. And William.
I know.
This blue is blue. Is that the color of the alcohol blood level from yesterday?
No.
This trend here reminds me of my old school reports from the British Grammar School. Every year they said, Richard has good intentions, but he can do more. So, young man, next week let's just see yellow ones, okay?
Well, I'm not even finished for today yet.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
All right then.
Exactly. And yesterday I was at a party, right? And I only had 7,000 steps. And at 11 at night, I went out on a jog. I went jogging. And I managed to get that 10,000 in.
All right then.
And I would have never done that in my life before. So
Now, overall, I'm very proud of you both. I'm proud of the fact that if I had said to you back in December last year, Thomas, hey, what about doing 10,000 steps a day? You would have laughed in my face.
I don't know about that.
I've
always had the athletic streak in me, you know.
Yeah, just very well hidden. And I know, and your brother knows, the progress that you've made since January.
I appreciate it.
It's phenomenal.
Thank you
And
both.
what you and Lily are achieving together now, you got to be proud of yourself.
I'm definitely very proud of both her and myself. Yeah.
And that same for you as well, William. It's easy to sit and do nothing. But to get out there and do it every day, even after a party when you don't feel like it, yeah. So we've all achieved the minimum daily goal. Life is good. Anything else before we finish, Thomas? Because you're the one that needs to talk us out, of course, because you do it so well. But anything else from you, Thomas? Anything else from you, William?
Nothing else from me. Just
Yeah, terrific week. Another fabulous week in the books. It's always a pleasure coming together and seeing everybody and seeing your guys' work. It's really nice to compare, and we joke around and have fun with it, but it really is. I think, is going to be the time where weight loss is really going to stick. I'm excited about it, very much so. If there's nothing else on your end, I guess I'll close this out.
The only thing I have to say is enjoy your week of no challenge, because
Yes.
I will be setting the challenge next week, and it will be a serious one, okay?
Okay. All right. That seems fair.
All right then, Thomas. Over to you.
Well, all righty, guys. Like I said, another 3 buff guys in the books. It is a perfect, wonderful time we get to spend every single Sunday with you all. I love it. They love it. We love you guys. We appreciate every single one of you and your support. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. Have a great week and make good choices. Goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.